Means I have to pay the FEMA grant back. We can't afford that, Bob. 15% says I have to lay off police officers. I can't afford to do that, Bob. 15% says I have 8 street department employees and now I have to go down to 4. I can't afford to do that. And that's the extent of it. And so when you have 4 people in a street department, that means you're closing it. When you have 3 people in the health department, that means you're closing it. I can't afford to do that. We are at bare bones right now.
But how can council afford to do that?
Because I'll get the blame, you see.
Well, see that,
I will get the blame. And
that's one of
everybody
the big
here around this
problems.
table knows that's the truth.
But one of the big problems we have here is what I would call then a lack of the loyal opposition. And that's, I mean, the way our system is supposed to work is you advocate for your position. Once you reach a compromise, everybody supports it. That's the loyal opposition. We have a lack of that. It doesn't matter where it comes from, but that's what causes these plans to not be believable or not be credible. Because, and I don't care where it comes from. I know it sounds like I'm picking on you, but I'm not. It's just, you know, you could not sign this, and that pushes everybody closer to the brink of a problem. And you can say council will blame you, okay, you can blame council too. If you're at loggerheads over this, you have to find a way to make a deal that works. If, you know, the way I see it, this is the compromise that was reached between council and the city, and it needs to be supported by council and the city, or, you know, or why sign it? And you're saying you made an agreement, but you don't agree.
No, I didn't have the opportunity to agree with it.
Why not?
It was delegated by council. This is what they chose to do. My things that I gave to them were disregarded.
So don't sign it.
I can't afford to do. You just don't understand.
I do understand. I've been in that
that
position before, and there have been times when I've said, I'm not going to sign it. And there are negative consequences to not signing it, but there's a negative consequence for the other party as well. And that's what pushes the parties back to the table and back to a compromise that both parties can agree with.
But we are so far behind where our city needs to be, infrastructure-wise, vehicle-wise. If we need to be adults about this and sit down and fix it without hurting our employees and without hurting our residents. That's what I'm trying to get council to do. You have to stand up and be adult about it. And that's not what's happening. And so it's very frustrating for me to have to get this plan at the last minute that I either have to sign or my employees and my residents get 15% cuts. And I can't do that to them. We are already 20 years behind where we need to be. Joel came on board and he's like, oh my God, do people realize how bad off this city is? People don't realize it because we keep working harder and harder and harder to make things right.
I guess, as I said, but this is the plan that we've been presented with. And
Not the one that I approve. Why would I approve 10% cut for our all elected officials? That it garners $33,000. It doesn't even put a dent in anything. And why would I support that?
I don't know.
I brought it to them.
You signed it.
That doesn't say I support it. My letter says that I don't.
But how can you criticize members of council who say they might not support parts of it? You're saying you don't support parts of this, but you're saying other members of council.
That's right. This is not a bona fide plan, Bob. This is not a plan that council's behind completely, that I'm behind completely. It's not. And that's the reality of it. And that's why I told Sharon, I think it should be thrown back out and go back and sit down and make it right. And don't bring it back until it's right. That everyone can put their heart and soul in it and get it passed.